Hey everyone, Gavin here. Today I want to talk about Make.com and more specifically the soon to be released major update called the Grid. If you don't know what Make.com is, it's an incredibly versatile and robust no-code automation platform which can be used to create insanely powerful AI-powered automations for things like content, lead generation, and even voice AI callers. Recently they released a teaser for their upcoming feature, the Grid, and really at the core it's going to give businesses an extremely high level and comprehensive overview of the automation within their systems and how they sort of interact and feed into each other. Personally, I believe that the Grid is going to transform not only how small, medium, and even enterprise-sized businesses are able to infuse automation throughout their entire internal system, but it's going to give AI entrepreneurs and automation engineers a visual and extremely tangible way of demonstrating the value that automated systems bring to clients. So with that out of the way, let's dive in. So let's talk about the Grid. So what I believe the Grid is going to be is the next logical step in the path towards hyperautomation for everyday businesses, okay? But first, we need to understand what exactly hyperautomation is, all right, and why essentially it's going to be the future of automation and AI agents. So what is hyperautomation? It's essentially comprehensive automation that is infused throughout a business and the business's processes. Hyperautomation goes beyond simple task automation, and it aims to automate the entire business's processes using a combination of AI-powered tools, essentially. And some of these tools include, machine learning to analyze data, robotic process automation, things like Make.com, and now we're seeing more commonly is with voice AI. Okay, and sort of the end goal here with automation and hyperautomation is to really enhance and augment the way humans do work, and that means creating an environment that fosters flexibility when it comes to human and machine collaboration, right? So think about us interacting with these AI agents and telling them to do things and becoming in sync with them, right? This is what hyperautomation is going to allow. So I first heard of the concept of hyperautomation when I read the book Age of Invisible Machines by Rob Wilson. And first of all, it's an excellent book. I recommend everyone to go read it if you're interested in AI agents, especially because he talks a lot about agents. He calls them independent digital workers. And essentially, when businesses achieve a state of hyperautomation, it's going to be the businesses are essentially going to be running off of AI agents, right? Real agents that can have memory, long-term and short-term memory, and pretty much have data access to the entire sort of infrastructure of the business and all the data that it contains, so it can dynamically do tasks and interact with customers and employees in really incredible ways, okay? So this is what is coming eventually. Right now, AI agents are essentially, connecting APIs and webhooks and patching together some GPTs in between for the logic, okay? But the agents that are coming in the future are going to have much more functionality and capabilities than what we see today. So what's going to happen when people start infusing automation and AI into their businesses more and more? The goal really here is to not just automate existing systems, right? It's to create better systems through automation, right? That's the real end goal here. Because when you start automating this and automating that, you're going to discover entirely new ways of conducting business and, really systemizing things and really making things run efficiently, right? And this is one quote that stuck out with me from the book. 9 times out of 10, it will be more valuable to your company if you create automation that reflects the ideal way of getting things done rather than how they're currently being done. Okay, so everyone think about that. And real quick, we can take a look over at his platform, Rob Wilson's. This is his AI agent and automation platform, and it's really geared towards and marketed towards enterprise businesses. But essentially, all these things that this platform is capable of, right, and the agents on it are, dialogue over email, create a contract, customize the independent digital worker, tire agent, right, capturing data. All these things can be done within Make.com. And they're going to be even easier to do once we get into the grid, okay? So that's what I want you guys to keep in mind here, is that this platform is geared towards enterprise clients. But with the grid and even how Make is built now and the things we can build, small, medium, large, enterprise, any type of business, solopreneurs can achieve this state of hyper-automation using cheap and easily accessible platforms like Make.com and OpenAI. So what exactly is the grid going to be? It's going to be a visual grid of your automation landscape, okay? And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So the big picture overview of the grid is, I believe it is going to usher a new era of AI and automation, okay? It's going to allow you to seamlessly connect every system and automation in your business, whether it's marketing, sales, data analytics, right? Everything, all the data is going to become connected. And it's going to allow you to pull from it, analyze it, and really optimize these systems much quicker. And you can have things like project management, onboarding and service delivery, and beyond. Everything that can be automated, you'll have a visual overview of it and be able to see exactly how things are working in concert with one another. So what I want you guys to really understand is this isn't just another feature or a regular update, right? It's a huge shift into how people, especially laymen, right, are going to start viewing automations. As businesses embrace increasingly complex AI and automation tools, the grid creates a blueprint for the future, a world where isolated automations give way to holistic, interconnected ecosystems, okay? That's hyperautomation, guys. And I really believe this is an inflection point, right? Once the grid is released, it's a sign where things are headed, okay? If you don't automate, you're going to die out, essentially. So here's a quick overview of what it's projected to look like. So think about these are isolated systems, and now you can see them stacked next to each other. And it really gives you a very unique visual overview of how everything is interacting and the way data is sort of flowing within your systems, right? So most importantly, what does this mean for automation engineers and AI agency entrepreneurs, okay? Well, three main things. First off is offering these types of comprehensive system-wide automations, right? You could come to a business and be like, hey, here's how I just automated a competitor just like yours. Here's their lead generation. Here's their onboarding. Here's their project development, all automated with this system, okay? And here's what it looks like. So it's going to give you a real chance to stand out from an increasingly more crowded AI automation landscape in industry, right? And this will impress your clients, seeing, it's hard to, especially right now when we're still in an era of, ChatGPT's only been out for just over 2 years now. We're still in an era of trying to explain the value of AI to businesses, okay? And, having something sort of flashy and fancy like this will go a long way into sort of demonstrating the value that these systems offer. And the third main point is that with the grid as a backbone for, planning automations, it's going to be much easier to really innovate and create entirely new systems, right, from these technologies. But the main thing is it's going to be the ultimate demo platform. So think about when you're trying to sell automations, okay? I like to, create workflows like this on Miro, okay? And I might show this to a prospect saying, hey, here's how a cold email lead Slack automation might work, okay? You get a lead, maybe from cold email, or it could be from Instagram, Facebook lead ads, wherever, and here's the path it takes, okay? And this is okay. I make it try to look neat as possible. I'm not the best with this. But these are all isolated systems, one. And two, this isn't very engaging, right? The prospects don't give a shit about, what the webhook does or any of this really. So, but imagine being able to show all these on the Make platform and then give them a demo in real time of it, okay? Easily, with the click of a few buttons. They could watch the data, the leads coming in, and proposals being created, contracts being created, pitch decks, the signing process, all the onboarding documents being created, right? All in a few minutes, and then they see the value of something that would take them hours, maybe even days to sign a client and get all these things in order. It can be done in mere minutes, okay, with these automated platforms. And you can show that to them with something like the grid. So, of course, I got to talk about the grid and voice AI. So, a lot of this is just speculation, okay, but once you spend enough time with voice AI and Make, you kind of start to see where things might be headed and the capabilities of these things and these updates before they are fully released. So what I want you guys to really understand is sort of really think about the possibilities of having voice agents as a spearhead or a focal point of your primary or your initial interactions with prospects and customers, okay? Gathering that data, getting lead info, updating CRMs, and especially as these voice AIs get better, they're going to become much more dynamic, and their functionality and capabilities are going to increase. And the conversations will become more natural, the latency will drop. All these things, they're going to rapidly improve. And then you're going to start seeing them everywhere. But behind the scenes, think about what is going to be possible once we have everything hooked up to the grid, and it's going to be easy to use these voice agents to really streamline in the entire business system, right? Once isolated systems, like follow-up automations, onboarding, reactivation, right? You have all these dead leads on a list. Those can be called, and those can be watched constantly by voice AI agents and called over and over again. Research automation, all right? A lead comes in, you could be having AI research agents working in the background, and then once something is learned, it goes to the voice AI, and that could be happening in real-time conversation, right? So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. And here's another picture from Make.com. And especially on to this point, I want you to think about, typically when you're building these isolated automations, you can link them together, yes, but you have to recreate the modules and re-upload the data. The data is all going to be connected here with these, I suspect, with these automations within the grid. So it's going to be much easier to copy over and send data to new automations within a system using the grid. So here's just a few things that I think the grid will do to enhance voice AI solutions specifically. Richer data access. Okay, these voice AIs are going to have access to the entire pipeline of data in every system. Lower barriers to entry. So the grid is just going to make integrating AI that much simpler, right? Even if you already have a few Make.com automations going, when you introduce a voice agent, it's going to make it much easier to hook that voice agent up and start sending data across the pipeline. Speed to market, so it's just going to be much easier to innovate. And then, of course, enhanced ROI, so builders, automation engineers, AI entrepreneurs, voice solutions, they're going to be much easier to clearly demonstrate tangible value, and as a result, you're going to get many more clients. And these are just some bold predictions I have for the future. I think voice AI for a lot of businesses, especially these businesses that get a lot of calls or do a lot of calling, the smart business owners we're going to have voice AI as sort of like the command center for the automated processes, okay? All the lead data is going to initially come from voice. And you have to not just think about customer interaction, but giving voice commands to where it's either in Slack. A lot of people have whole automated content systems, scheduling systems, just through some simple commands in Slack. Just imagine when this becomes possible with voice. In some cases, it already is. There's a reason that Salesforce bought Slack, because they essentially rebuilt their entire systems and business around the Slack messaging platform. Okay, because it's that powerful. And once AI automations and agents really get going, it's going to be crazy. And the last point is, like I said earlier, when the memory gets really good with these agents, and they become data driven. So when a voice agent has full access to your business's, all the data that it needs, and it gets continually updated and it's continually learning, they're not just going to be responding. They're going to be, analyzing and advising. And they're going to know your business better than some of your employees, right? So it's really exciting stuff, and I personally cannot wait to start working with the grid myself. That's it for today, guys. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, as always, I will see you guys in the next one.